to our topic of the week. The United States Federal Reserve, in a unanimous decision last Wednesday, announced its move to keep the interest rates unchanged in its first major decision under President Donald Trump's second term.
The U.S. Federal Reserve keeps the benchmark rate steady at between 4.25% and 4.5%, marking the U.S. Central Bank's first rate decision of President Donald Trump's second term. The decision followed these straight cuts since September 2024, worth a full percentage point. Speaking in a press conference following the Federal Reserve's two-day policy meeting, the Fed's chair, Jerome Powell, emphasized that the central bank is in no hurry to adjust its policy stance, particularly as the economy remains strong. Officials have said recently that they're still confident inflation will eventually reach their 2% target, but the central bank won't be able to declare victory anytime soon. Future Fed interest rate cuts are still likely to occur in 2025 if year-on-year inflationary pressures ease significantly in the second quarter 2025. The Fed could make a 0.25% rate cut in May or June 2025. Asian share markets rose in thin trading on Thursday following the Fed's announcements, while the US dollar held its ground after the Fed paused in policy easing. However, in Indonesia, the Fed's rate decision received a negative reaction from the Indonesian stock market, with most blue chips falling sharply. The Jakarta Composite Index lost 1.3% to close 7,073. The Indonesian rupiah also weakened 0.5% to 16,255 rupiah per US dollar. The Fed's new rate policy could make rupiah more vulnerable to selling pressure because, with Bank Indonesia's recent decisions to lower its benchmark rate, dollar-based assets can give higher returns. The Indonesian Central Bank unexpectedly cut policy rates on January 15 by 25 basis points to 5.75%, its first cut since September. The benchmark is now at its lowest in over a year. Bank Indonesia Peri Warjio said the monetary easing would be needed to prop up growth in Southeast Asia's largest economy despite financial market volatility that has sharply weakened the rupiah currency, Reuters reported. Economic growth in 2024 is expected to be slightly below the midpoint of BI's forecast range of 4.7% to 5.5%, the bank said, while revising down its 2025 growth outlook to 4.7% to 5.5% from 4.8% to 5.6% previously, due to expectations of softer household consumption and weaker exports. The central bank cut interest rates for the first time in more than 3 years in September and had then held policy steady at subsequent meetings to anchor the rupiah, which has been under pressure amid uncertainty about U.S. policy under President Trump. The government recently implemented a regulation requiring exporters of natural resources like coal, palm oil, and nickel to retain 100% of their export proceeds onshore for at least 1 year in a measure aimed at stabilizing the country's foreign exchange reserves. With large foreign exchange reserves, Bank Indonesia has more flexibility to protect rupiah amid the change in U.S. economic policy under President Trump.
United States Central Bank, or the Federal Reserve, held its key interest steady last week, reversing a recent trend of easing policy amid potential bumpy political and economic landscape ahead in the world's economic giant. So today, our guest on Economic Outlook is Bapak Joshua Pardede. He is the Chief Economist of Bank Permata, and we will discuss the impact of the U.S. interest rates policy on the Indonesian financial market. Hello, Pak Joshua.
Hi, Luisa.
Oh,
Can you hear
finally.
me?
Good to have you with us, Pak Joshua. Now, Pak Joshua, the U.S.
Thank you for having me.
The U.S. Federal Reserve's decision to hold its key rate steady might indicate the end of its easing monetary policy. In your opinion, Pak Joshua, what do you think of such an assumption, given that President Donald Trump's America First policy could trigger even a higher inflation?
Yes, I think this is not the end of easing cycle of Fed policy, because markets still see another 25 or 50 basis point rate cut in the second semester of this year, because I think from the press conference of the FOMC meeting in January, the Fed mentioned that they will likely to examine the development in the inflation in the next coming months, yeah, because of the we note that the Fed will also examine about the impact of the U.S. government policy, yeah, on the tariff import policy, for example, the impact to the inflation, because there are so many policies that would like to be implemented by the U.S. President Donald Trump, yeah, because he wants to also to support the oil and gas domestic in U.S. Sectors by spurring the productivity in the oil and gas productivity. So that's why I think this also will lead to the declining in the inflation in the energy components. So that's why I think currently those kind of factors from the import policy, from the increasing supply from the oil and gas sector in the U.S., this would lead to the mixed impact, yeah, to the inflation. So I think Fed will see the development of inflation in the coming months. If the inflation continue to increase, yes, I think there will be limited room, yeah, for the another rate cut, yeah, this year. But if the inflation tended to be declining, at least I think there's still a room for the another 25 to 50 basis point rate cut for the Fed in the remaining year in this year.
Right. Now, as you mentioned just then, Pak Joshua, that there is this mixed impact after President Donald Trump come up with this first policy. Now, unlike in other Asian markets, the share prices on the Indonesian Stock Exchange mostly fell following the Fed's announcement. Why did the Indonesian stock market react so negatively to the change in the Fed rates policy? Can you explain to us?
Yes, I think even though I think the Fed's decision is already in line with the market expectation, even though I think the Fed already took out some the highlighted about the indication about the disinflation words, yeah. The Fed already took out those kind of words from the press release. So this I think the market about tended to be more concerned, yeah, about the impact to the U.S. policies on the tariff, yeah, to the Chinese product, and then to other to universal product, yeah, will lead to the higher inflation in the medium term. Yeah, so that's why I think the JCI reacted negatively, and we can see also today, this morning, after the retaliation comments, yeah, from Canadian prime ministers and also from other governments from Mexico also retaliated, wants to warn US, yeah, to retaliate, to also to raise the import tariff on US products. The market tended to be depreciated. Yeah, JCI dropped this morning, and then dollar continued to strengthen. So I think again, the expectation on the U.S. Interest rate cut in the near term will be affected or will be driven by the U.S. policy from the Trump's policy on the import tariff policy.
Right, and it's not just the stocks, but the rupiah is also very sensitive to the change in the Fed's interest rate. Why is there a lack of trust in the Indonesian currency?
I don't think there is a lack of trust, yeah, on the Indonesian market or Indonesian economy because based on fundamental economy of Indonesia, I think Indonesia still grow around 5% last year and this year. So actually, Indonesia still grow faster compared to global economy and most advanced countries. And then looking at the inflation, looking at the current account balance, and then looking at the latest Bank Indonesia's foreign reserve, I think rupiah currently is not only driven by the fundamental, yeah, but also from the sentiments, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, that sentiments from the trans policy, the sentiments on the China slowing down, yeah, this combination from the global factors continue to yeah to weigh down to weigh the market condition, yeah, in the domestic, yeah. And then but as we can see also, yeah, in the domestic market, the foreign investors book net sell in the stocks market, the foreign ownership on the IDR bond also decline. But fortunately, yeah, we still have good news that the foreign ownership on the SRBI still recorded increase, yeah, in January. So at least we can still have good news, yeah, even though there is still outflow from the bond market and then stock market. But again, I think in terms of the fundamental, I think Indonesia still have a good, strong fundamental. The GDP growth still robust this year. The inflation still remain manageable. So I think we don't have any issue from the fundamental, but we still have a negative impact from the sentiments from the global.
That's good news for us. Well, the government also recently implemented a regulation requiring exporters of natural resources to retain 100% of their export proceeds onshore for at least 1 year. In your opinion, how effective is such policy to stabilize the rupiah?
Looking at the current policies that government require the exporters to retain the export proceeds, yeah, about 30% of the total in 3 months. Yeah, I think the compliance level, I think, is pretty good. Yeah, but I don't know yet about the new regulation. Yeah, when the government require the exporter to do the retention on the export proceed by 100% in 12 months, yeah, because in terms of the compliance level, it should be very hard, yeah, because for example, like for the exporters in mining or the plantation in CPO, I think they still have need more flexibility, yeah, in manage their yeah, routines spending, yeah, in their working capital, yeah. So I think the government still needs to discuss with the association in the mining exporters or the plantation exporters when they wants to implement this regulations. But if the compliance is still relatively high, I still believe that based on the government's simulation, the FX reserve will be increased by 90 billions, yeah, US dollar in a year. Yeah, so if if that the number is correct, so I think that this would be very significant impact, yeah, to the rupiah stability in the short to medium term. Yeah, so if the government can can do the retention, can add to up to $90 billion on the reserve. I have a I have strong belief that rupiah could appreciate, yeah, from this current level, and then this would also give a strong confidence level to the foreign investor in the longer term, yeah. And then if the rupiah more stable, of course, this will also have a positive impact to the economy as a whole, because the stability in the rupiah also would support the stability or sustainability in the economy.
Of course. Thank you so much for your insights on economic outlook today. That is Bapak Joshua Pardede, Chief Economist of Bank Permata. Thank you and see you again next time on Economic
you.
Outlook.